Hello, and welcome to Season 6 of the Gaming Backlog Book Club. We just wrapped up Season 5 about Undertale and chuckled our way through it. Since I haven't asked this in the last few weeks, what have you been playing outside of our podcast games in the last month or so?
For the past month or so, I've been playing a couple games. Obviously, a whole bunch of Undertale for the podcast. But outside of the podcast, I started up Earthbound, and I've been continuing on Final Fantasy X. I think I'm close to maybe 3/4 of the way through Final Fantasy X. It's been really fun so far. I'm enjoying the story of Titus and Waka and the whole crew. So
You
it's
are
been
deep
fun.
in JRPG territory lately, then.
I am. It's bad too because it's like I want to play 10. I want to beat 10, and then like I heard some other people say like 13 is really fun, so I want to play 13. But
Well, Final Fantasy is a rabbit hole if you haven't gotten through a fair bit of them.
no.
Yeah,
But also though I haven't played it, but what's just come out is the DLC for Indiana Jones, so I will probably be getting into that since Indiana Jones was one of my favorite games of all time in top 5. So I will definitely start cracking on that DLC because I'm really excited to see where they take the story on the DLC and how it continues.
Wow, I knew you liked it, but top 5 is a big deal. Maybe we need to re-update our list again. Yeah, on my end, all similar JRPG. I haven't actually touched Persona 5 Royal in a bit because we've been doing our games here pretty fast and quick, and Undertale is more time-consuming than I would have expected going into it.
Yeah, it has been.
Considering the randomization of bullet hell, it's hard to guarantee that something will be quick and easy. Otherwise, though, the biggest deal of them all, I've been playing Hollow Knight Silksong since it released last week, and it's fantastic. I'll just leave it at that. You need to play that first, and then Hollow Knight 1, or just play Silksong.
Yeah, I think I'm not after playing some of the games here like Katana Zero and here Undertale, where I know like the Silksong Hollow Knight and all that was more sort of Souls-like. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
like a
like though, like I have
Metroidvania
like
first and a Souls-like second.
With the Katana Zero and some of like the timing and just doing, since we've been playing a few games where you have to just remember patterns and everything, I feel like I might get into Silksong and play that.
You have it in you, but I know it won't be immediately, but it's worth taking a shot at because it broke the internet. It broke Steam and pretty much every digital shop for the first hour or so after release. That's a big deal for an indie game made by 3 people.
Yeah, they had however many, like the most congruent amount of players playing or streaming at once for, I don't know if they broke a record, but yeah, it was pretty nuts.
Pretty huge. And this season, we will be playing Silent Hill 2. In our case, specifically the Silent Hill 2 remake. The Silent Hill 2 remake was heavily praised by many. Apparently, it did make some changes to the original, both on the quality of life side, but also making some sections longer and possibly dragging on a bit. I guess we'll have to see and form our own opinions, but I think the remake is the best choice for this, both because it's more easily accessible, and I want to be able to actually understand what I'm looking at, even if higher def enemies are more terrifying. Also, just a little bit of a feeder for why it's a good idea to pull it up now. Silent Hill F releases in a couple weeks, and it looks great if you ask me, despite some longtime Silent Hill fans thinking it looks too Souls-like. The developers have even responded back to that saying, hey, this is part of our genre anyway, but it looks fun. It looks really well made, Silent Hill F.
Silent Hill, it does. From the trailers I've watched of it, it does look really... It looks really well made. It looks fun. It looks really freaky.
Yeah, it does. I guess after we get through this, we'll have to see whether it looks more freaky than 2 or not. It's got just the very few images I've seen look pretty sketch. And Silent Hill 2 is generally considered the best of the series, so I can't wait to get started, and I'm curious to see how F lives up to it.
I'm very curious as well.
But before we get into the details of Silent Hill 2, what is your history with horror games?
I'm trying to think. For some reason right now, my mind is going blank of how many horror games I've played in my time.
All right. I can kick us off, and you can let me know if any of this
Yeah,
rings
because
a bell.
I know, yeah, I know there's going to be overlap with us. Yeah, go ahead.
So let's see. In my past of playing horror games, Dead Space 1 and 2, I know you like those as well. I didn't
Yep.
play 3. Just
Same. 1 and 2.
supposedly went too action heavy and got kind of wonky, and 1 is incredible.
Yeah. One is awesome. It's honestly, it's up there for me as a, I don't know. I don't know if it's top 10 or whatever, but definitely top 20 game of all.
I'd
It was
probably put it
so
top
good.
25 somewhere, yeah.
Yeah.
The environment, and it was pretty novel. I mean, it's still survival horror, but in the sci-fi setting, it's a bit different, I suppose. And in the moment it came out, it hit so good. And I mean, I guess I actually did a very brief QA testing job at EA while it was being made. Dead Space. I didn't work on it, but I saw images of it and a bunch of details before it released, so it was really cool to finally play it.
Yeah. Nice.
Uh,
I really want to play the remake, but we both played
yeah,
the original, and I do really want to play the remake because
I
from what
do,
I've heard and what I've seen, it looks amazing. It looks so good.
and we did get. I know you already had it. We also got access through PlayStation somewhat recently. It looks
Yeah.
great. I do want to play it too. It doesn't fit the criteria for this podcast, but we'll probably get to it at some point in
Yeah,
the
definitely.
nearest future. Let's see. I've also played a bit of Resident Evil. I played Resident Evil 1 Remake on GameCube a little bit. I probably got less than halfway through when it released. I ended up replaying it all the way through in a few years ago on Switch. I played Resident Evil Remake 2 last year. Around this time, that was a lot of fun. I actually even went through both runs of that. I played Resident Evil 5. I think Resident Evil 5 was my first Resident Evil game that I finished whenever that came out in the 2010 or so, which was, still not super loved, but it was entertaining enough and got me further into the series. And then I played Resident Evil 4, the PS4 version of it, so not this recent remake. But Resident Evil is a series I'm a big fan of, and I will probably look into playing Resident Evil 3 Remake fairly soon. Obviously, there's 7 and 8 available that I want to play, and 9 was somewhat recently announced.
Yeah, I forgot to. Well, we were just talking about games I've been playing. I actually haven't played it now in a few weeks, but I need to get back into it. I was playing the Resident Evil 2 remake, so I need to continue my run on that. It was definitely fun so far. Really quite terrifying, but
3D
I was
audio
enjoying my time
does it.
with the. Yeah, I was enjoying my time though with the remake of Resident Evil 2.
Other horror games. So I played Little Nightmares 1 a few years ago, which obviously is a very different style of horror game, but it's creepy, that's for sure. The people that chase after you are really gross. There's a game called Soma, which basically puts you in a rapture looking kind of thing underwater, but that one's really different. There's not a ton of fighting in it, but it's the mood and the vibe is just so creepy that I think it's worth a recommendation. And the story goes to places you don't expect either.
Okay, intriguing. Go ahead.
Yeah, I picked it up in a sale a long time ago because it was mentioned as a. I don't even remember what I was reading at the time. That was kind of when I was getting back into gaming and just looking at this massive list of things that I hadn't heard of. I also played Until Dawn maybe 2 years ago, which got a remaster or remake recently. It also had a movie come out just recently that people didn't really like. It was entertaining enough. Kind of funny to see people like Rami Malek show up in a game long before or around when he was first getting popular.
Before he becomes a Bond villain
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Or a computer hacker,
or Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury, many other things. I want to say Hayden Panettiere was one of the characters in that too. So it's like a bunch of actors from around the
Oh,
time it released. That interesting.
yeah,
I know
I've heard the movie's not great, but the movie I think right now is on Netflix, and I do
might be worth
plan to
checking out.
watch it just because
Yeah.
I just want to. If it's on something where I can just stream it, I don't have to buy it. Like I'll watch it. I'll give it a watch.
I know there are others horror games too, but just not a ton coming to mind. I don't know if did this spark any remembrances for you?
No, it did. It did. Some that I guess I mean you can consider them horror, maybe not. One I actually did play, but I didn't beat. I got stuck. Was And this was a few years ago. I started and played this, The Evil Within, which was sort of like
Ah,
a Resident
mm-hmm.
Evil. It was really good, really freaky. But I
Hmm.
ck to a point where I got to some boss or like sort of mini boss, and I got stuck. Like I was out of ammo. I couldn't find much. Like I was kind of stuck, and I didn't know if I could how to backtrack. Like I was kind of
Mm-hmm.
blocked from backtracking, so I kind of gave it up at the time. I might go back to it at some point, but that was one. That was a horror game I'd started and played that I was really enjoying. Some others that I have played and completed. I guess Alan Wake could be considered
Oh,
horror.
that's true. I
Alan
played
Wake
Alan Wake
is
last year, right before
we
Resident
played.
Evil.
We both played the remake of Alan Wake.
That was, I'd consider that a horror game. It
Yeah,
certainly throws off that vibe and a lot of darkness and the flashlight and all that stuff. So I think Alan Wake 2 is supposedly even more horror, dips a bit further into that
that's what
direction.
that's what I've heard as well. That is one on my backlog to play. Alan Wake 2. I think
Right.
it's on both of
Same.
ours, definitely.
I gotta play Controls first
Control.
still, but
Yep. Control I've played, which could
would you
be
consider Control a horror game?
I, there are some
I haven't played it,
horror
so no
elements.
spoilers.
Yeah, no, there are some horror elements in it. I could definitely
Okay.
say. I mean, it's pretty creepy at a few times, like where you're walking around, but you don't want to go too fast. You
Okay.
kind of
Okay.
just like, yeah. Enjoyed that though. Great game.
Cautiously go around every corner.
Yeah, cautiously go around every corner. One I haven't played, but I want to, which is another backlog game, is Alien Isolation. I've heard that's
Yeah,
one
I
of the
keep hearing about
best,
that too. Yeah.
like,
Especially with Alien Earth out
phenomenal
right
horror
now
games.
is like getting me that alien itch, but really watching any alien property just makes me want to go back and play more Metroid,
Yeah.
considering all the influences there.
And then one more, just one little indie game, which I think we both played, Inside. Remember
Ah, yes.
Inside?
And I played
That
Inside
was
for sure. Yeah.
creepy,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
weird,
It's a good way to
like
describe it.
horror-like games. Yeah, that was weird and creepy. That was
And
so,
that one
yeah.
is a much lauded indie game. It's like one of the best.
Mm-hmm. I remember played that and Limbo back to back. They were like the
Yeah.
two.
So did I. I think it was
Mm-hmm.
Limbo first, then it's Inside.
Yeah,
Yeah. Those are good.
yeah. I'm sure there's some
Nice.
others I've played
Yeah,
horror
there's
ones. I
gotta be
just
other
can't think,
horror
but yeah.
games.
But those are some of the bigger ones that I've played semi recently.
Yeah. Now I actually started up and played Silent Hill 2, the original release on PS2 sometime around when it came out, but I probably only got an hour or so into it each time, not necessarily due to being scared, if I remember correctly, but more due to being confused about what the hell to do or where the hell to go. So it's time to correct that because the vibe is so much more intense and brooding than your traditional semi-campy Resident Evil style survival horror, which I do enjoy that, but this is going much further into that tense darkness. So I guess the background, in case you're not familiar, Silent Hill 2 was released in 2001, developed by Team Silent, which is a part of Konami, or was a part of Konami, on PlayStation 2. It was also released on the original Xbox a few months later, which I didn't know, with a bit more added to it. I think they added an extra section. And the following year was ported to PC. It was mostly well reviewed and well received when it did come out. It built up for sure a cult following, which I would say quickly evolved into just being a regular following with tons of fans the world over. It also had a remastered release for PS3 and Xbox 360 10 years later. Um, and now Silent Hill 2 Remake was released in 2024, mostly rave reviews, except from the original release purists. It was developed by Bloober Team, who has made many other horror games, including Observer, which is on my backlog, a creepy cyberpunk future detective game, and The Medium, which you said you played, didn't you?
That's right. That's another horror game I have played. Yes, The Medium. That one was that was fun.
Was that not Troy Baker in the lead role?
He no, because your lead role you're a female. I
Okay,
think
well, he's a
he's
character in
the
it then.
main enemy.
Okay.
Um,
Did
and
you
also
enjoy
I'm
that
pretty
one?
sure I did enjoy that. I believe I heard too that they might be making a movie
Oh,
of it or TV
interesting.
series, probably a movie. I think I read that somewhere just recently. So,
Hmm.
I mean, they're
Well,
actually just going back to it. They're doing a lot of those, like Control and Alan Wake. Like, I think they're teaming up with what's the company who makes Oh my god.
Probably A24, who makes all the big.
No, it's no. Not I mean the video game company who makes it. Sam Lake's the owner. Remedy.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
teaming. Yeah, I think it's A20. It might be A24. Someone's teaming up with Remedy to basically make that whole universe, which will be fun to watch in the future.
I mean,
That was
considering
just a
that's
little.
heavily inspired by Twin Peaks or everything David Lynch and the X Files and some other things, I'm not surprised if
It's
they made a good
yeah,
show or movie out of it.
yeah, definitely. So sorry, that was my little sidetrack of that. But yes,
No, makes sense. So if you've played a Bloober Team game, I don't think I
I
have
have.
yet, even though I have both of those on my list. Bloober Team also literally just released last week Chronos: The New Dawn, which is an original IP heavily inspired by Dead Space that I think we both have some degree of interest in playing eventually because we like that franchise. I probably am more likely to play Dead Space Remake than I am to play Chronos in terms of order, but eventually it'll sit in the backlog for a while.
Yes, it will. Same here. It'll sit in the back. It's definitely one I'm intrigued to play. It'll sit in the backlog. It'll be a game where I'll buy it either probably when it catches on a good sale. It just came
Yeah,
out, so it's not going to be
yeah,
on sale for a while.
yeah.
But
So give it
there are
some
many
time.
other games that are coming
Oh,
out
there's plenty.
or on our backlog that we want to play first.
So the setup of Silent Hills 2's story is that you play as a guy named James, who is a widower who receives a letter from his wife asking him to come find her in the small town of Silent Hill. No, that's not suspicious or creepy at all. But
Yeah,
hey,
not
the
at
guy
all.
loved his wife, obviously, and so I can understand his response to that type of summoning. Silent Hill 2 also does not relate or connect to the characters or plot of Silent Hill 1, apparently, from what I can tell. The gameplay is traditional survival horror, so yes, everything is creepy, scary, what have you. You have limited resources, weapons, ammunition if you end up acquiring any guns. I actually know about a pipe, but I don't know about guns. And you're probably going to be spending way too much time in the dark with or without a flashlight or candle or lighter or something else that emits light. Something tells me this is going to be rough in the dark with headphones on and 3D audio enabled.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it will be, especially with. I mean, I know for I think this game, I think they're in Silent Hill 1. I know the main enemy. I think in this is like triangle, no pyramid head.
Pyramid
Sorry,
Head.
and then also there's the like nurses that are
Yeah, I
just
think those are the two that are the most iconic. That's at least.
really creepy. Yeah. Um. Also, I love that. Yeah, he goes to a town, and I love how it's like it's a town. The Silent Hill is a town in Maine. Because I'm just like,
Yeah.
what is up with Maine and horror? Like you have
Okay, you're going to
it,
have to enlighten
like
me on this.
Derry.
Oh, is
Well,
that in
Derry.
Maine?
So
Okay,
it
yeah.
is. Yeah, Derry is in Maine, and it's where Stephen King was born in Maine. So a lot of like a few
Oh,
of
well,
his
there you
things are
go.
set where yeah. It's just like it seems to be Maine is the horror state. It seems to
Well,
be
you
like you want to
put
find a
someone like
creepy
Stephen
town,
King
go
in
to
there, he's
Maine.
gonna. Yeah, yeah, really. Well, you just convinced me to not go to Maine. Haven't you been to Maine?
I have been to Maine. I went. You know, this is where I went to in Maine. I went to and stayed at a lake house on Crystal Lake
Oh God! All right,
from the yeah. So any
don't
Jason
start
fans,
losing it on us now.
Out there, they'll know. Yep, camp, and there was literally a camp on there across the lake at Camp Crystal Lake, and I was like, wow, this is just gonna be fun, isn't it?
You gotta know some parents are not gonna be fans of that area.
Sending their kids there.
Wow, yeah, that's where the
Otherwise,
media
though,
bleeds into real life
Maine
too
is
much.
yeah.
Supposedly,
No,
it's
otherwise,
beautiful.
Maine is very nice. It is very beautiful. I actually really enjoyed my time.
I do love lobster too, so it's
Mm-hmm.
got some redeeming qualities, I suppose. Not just horror all the time.
No, no, all the time.
So there is also a Silent Hill movie called Return to Silent Hill, which is a direct adaptation of Silent Hill 2. Although early photo leaks have drawn a lot of negative attention that it most likely will be terrible. Supposedly, though, one of the voice actors from Silent Hill 2 remake the game will appear as their same character in live action in Return to Silent Hill. So there's that, if they have that support.
There was a
Anyway,
trailer
yeah.
for it.
Oh, I don't think I saw that trailer. Well, I'll have to
That
check it
trailer
out.
came out like a week ago. I
Did
watched
it
it.
make
Actually
you
looks
interested in seeing it?
yeah, it does. I am definitely interested. Yeah.
Uh,
It didn't look too bad to me. It looked pretty creepy. It definitely looked creepy.
hmm. All right, I'll have to check out the trailer. And if you just can't get enough Silent Hill after playing this, that movie is set for release in January 2026, so coming up pretty soon. It's directed by Christoph Gans, who also directed the 2006 Silent Hill movie, actually, which I think most people generally enjoyed, and I enjoyed it when I saw it back then without having played the games, really. This new movie, Return to Silent Hill,
I enjoyed it, yeah.
Is not a sequel to the 2006 movie or the 2012 sequel to that, so it's a standalone story. But yeah, I really enjoyed that first movie when it came out.
Yeah, the first one was good. I haven't seen the second one that came out back, as I think you just said, 2012. I hadn't seen that one, but I'll have to find that and actually watch it.
So
I know it wasn't
yeah,
supposed to be nearly as good. It wasn't
Yeah.
supposed to be nearly as good as the one that came out in 06 or whenever that came out, the first one.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that first one was great. And I didn't realize, but I think Sean Bean was in that too.
yeah,
And then-
he was. You're
then-
right.
I know it was Radha Mitchell, who I knew from a Woody Allen movie called Melinda and Melinda, which was hilarious. But I think the interesting, so I guess the Game of Thrones connection continues there because that 2006 Silent Hill movie had Sean Bean, and the 2012 sequel had Kit Harington, which I found out while I was researching this.
That's funny.
But hey, it is what it is. They can't all be winners. Outside of all that, what do you know about Silent Hill as a series and Silent Hill 2 going into it?
Honestly, not too much. I mean, I know obviously it's not much gameplay or story-wise, I'll say. As we said, what do we know here is he plays James. He's a widower. He's going to, as you said, he gets a letter from his wife to come find her in this town, and that's really about it.
Yeah, that's all you need. You need to start picking it up.
I just know that they're considered. It's a great horror franchise, and it's like I want to play some of the other ones, but some of them now, like I don't know. Back if you want to play
they don't necessarily age well, I guess. Yeah,
they don't age well, and some of them are expensive to like get. Like Silent Hill 2, just original. If you wanted to, was like I don't know if it's dropped. It was like over $100 at one point on PS2.
Oh, I should have kept my disc.
I know. Same. I think I might have owned it back in the day. I just didn't play it, but like Silent Hill 3 and I think 4, which is The Room, has gone up in price. Like I think I had them, but I just never back in the day. But
Actually
I never
went
played
into
them.
it.
Yeah,
and obviously, Pyramid Head is one of the most iconic villains in any video game ever. I would say, pretty much can instantly tell, even if you're not a horror game fan, at least recognize the character, and it's probably got to be a top 3 villain in the horror genre, I imagine. Don't you even have the Figma figure of Pyramid Head, don't you?
I think I believe I still do.
You did at one point. Yeah.
I may have, but I think I don't know. I think I kept it. But yeah, Pyramid Head is one of the more iconic ones, and as stated earlier, the nurses, like the nurses with no faces, and they're very iconic as well to Silent Hill.
Yeah, I expect out of this that the environments are going to be highly oppressive, dark, foggy, and just make you question every turn you make, even after you check around the corner. Question why we've decided to play this for the podcast, and maybe question who we are at some point. It might be a good idea to start up some kind of cozy game at the same time to balance it out. Yeah, gotta keep the mental psyche in check, because
this might be a game for me where I try and play more during the daytime, and then at nighttime I play something cozy.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, you got to recover from the Silent Hill sessions. Maybe I'm just exaggerating, but that's the vibe I've gotten.
Yeah.
What makes this a game you want to start up now?
I mean, we're going into... I've always been intrigued with Silent Hill, wanting to play this, and as I said, the remake got phenomenal reviews from the majority of people last year when it came out.
Yes.
We're now coming into, I know a little bit early, but we're coming into the fall period.
Yep.
So getting
fall,
closer to Halloween.
October's coming soon.
Yeah, fall, October's coming soon.
At least in the Northern Hemisphere. And I don't know about you, but I typically, even if I find it kind of silly to start selling Halloween items in August, I do tend to enjoy anyway, just because it's all around the atmosphere of fall weather and all that. So I do like to play a scary, spooky horror game around this time of year to get in the mood. At least one game usually. I last year I played Alan Wake and Resident Evil 2. I think the year before I played Until Dawn. Yeah, I mean, it's still just a good kind of entertaining moment. And I am in the middle of watching Alien Earth, which has got me a little kickstart into this horror mood too. So
Yeah, I need to start Alien Earth. But yeah, usually during this time, like I'll usually I'll try and play some type of horror game, and then my wife and I always find like a series of horror movies to watch. Last year we didn't fully finish them, but we watched like the first 5 or however many of the Freddy Krueger Night on Elm Street movies, which started off good, and then some are ridiculous and weird. And then this year we're actually thinking of we're going to try and watch all the Jason movies. So was it Friday the 13th? All
Yep.
the Friday the 13th movies.
Yeah, going back to the
That's
classics.
going to be our Halloween horror movie ties. So
and
we usually do
yeah.
that, and then I like to play some type of horror game as well.
And we even went a couple years ago with our wives to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios, which was really entertaining. That was the year that they had The Last of Us as the first one we went into, which was, as we're all fans of it, was very much fun. I think this year is going to be Fallout. Should be interesting. I don't see the horror vibe that much there, but we haven't played any of those games yet. So, but even so, that was fun. But yeah, fall's just a good time to play a horror game. I might also play Resident Evil 3 remake during this time too. Maybe that's my cozy game. Probably not.
I've heard it's not a very long game, so
yeah, it's supposed to be pretty quick.
Very long.
Yeah, so should be a good time.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, as far as timing goes, unlike Death Stranding, Silent Hill 2 Remake doesn't appear to be divided into episodes or chapters, so we'll be splitting up this season into 4 weeks across the following 4 podcast episodes, while trying to avoid spoiling anything and spoiling no more than the generic name of a location, because they have official names in world, but I'm just going to say the basics. Our goal by next time is to play up until you complete the apartments section. So once you finish that, save and quit and hang on for next time. Fortify yourself, think positive thoughts, and let's unravel the mysteries of Silent Hill. And before you get started, let us know on Discord what your expectations are before you start. We're curious to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks everybody, and we're looking forward to you guys to follow us along here for Silent Hill 2. So thanks for listening, and let's enjoy this journey through Silent Hill, this creepy journey. If you want to follow along and discuss our playthrough of many games on the Gaming Backlog Book Club podcast, please give us a follow on your podcast platform of choice: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music, or Pocket Casts, as well as our Discord and Instagram under the same name. Thanks.